decided that we would go to South Armagh because we knew contact people down there that we could get in contact with. We also decided that we would go only at night and travel through fields for the first few hours, as opposed to using any country lanes or roads. Once we got past midnight, we used railway tracks the whole way down towards Newry. So I just remember waking and sitting dozing on the Monday morning about 7 o'clock. We'd taken a small radio as well with us and listening to the news at 7 o'clock in the morning, very, very faint. And just this feeling of birds chirping around you, and you're sitting in the middle of a field, whereas the day before you were in Europe's most secure prison camp. It's actually an unreal type of feeling, you know. It's a wonder. I'm here, I'm out. You know, is this real? This is amazing. It's quiet, it's peaceful. You can hear the wind blowing through the trees. Come about 8 o'clock at night, we headed off again. Same thing again, over fields, fences. Now, people were getting tired, and because you'd walk all night we'd set off about 8 or half 8 at night, and you'd walk, you know, as continuously as possible, right through to about 4 or 5 o'clock the next morning. So we did that for 3 or 4 days.
McFarlane decided to take a risk. Knowing they were in a nationalist area, they threw themselves on the mercy of the family in whose barn they were hiding.
Just took a chance and got them to go to a local Republican in the area that they knew. 2 big cars came out to pick us up. Once they put us into the cars, that was us driven straight into South Armagh and into safe billets right down, literally 200 to 300 yards off the border. There was this feeling of, like, you know, you'd close the chapter. That when they arrived to pick us up, there was a confidence about them. They were in their territory. They were in South Armagh. The minute that I got into the car with these people, I relaxed totally and absolutely, and I just felt that is it. This phase of the escape is done. We are now in safe hands.
After months living undercover in rural Ireland, Kelly and McFarlane flew to the continent in January 1984 using false passports. Here, they resumed their IRA activities with new identities.
In jail, the outside world is, probably in its true sense of the word, fantastic, because your memory of it is exaggerated. What it came home to me was I was actually out walking one day and had to stop at the lights and press the button. When I was walking across the street, it just hit me. You know, just one of those things. I just remember it very well. You know, flip me, I'm out. You know, I'm free. And it was as mundane as that. It wasn't anything extraordinary that happened.
Life over there is different because you do have a false identity. You become somebody else. You're a face that nobody knows. So you are able to go and walk the city streets of Amsterdam or anywhere, any of the major cities in Europe, bar, of course, England. You're able to go and live anonymously.
Being on the run, I mean, it can be a very lonely place. You're in Paris. Paris is whatever, 10 million people in it. You do not have friendships, you know, so you're like in the middle of a sea of people, but without relationships. You could have decided that you were going to make a life and decided to pull away from the struggle and decided to go and get a job and do all of that. But that was not my decision. My decision was to remain with the struggle. I had made some decisions which were impacting on very many lives, not just my own.
You can have a normal life, with the exception is you're always watching over your shoulder for the wee odd glitch that might happen or something isn't right. And you obviously have a set of procedures, you know, security procedures that you adhere to religiously every day.
A car accident was enough to put us back in jail. You have to realise that's the atmosphere you're in. So once they start doing any check, you're gone.
Kelly and McFarlane remain Britain's most wanted. The escape had been a propaganda coup for the IRA and a personal affront to Margaret Thatcher.
When the Dutch security people came on top of us, it's hard to say as to how they came about it.
We called it wrong, basically, because the next morning they were onto the apartment. They had got onto the apartment somewhere.
But in the heels of the hunt, it was 5 o'clock in the morning when the windows came in, the stun grenades, the flash grenades, and the armed security people from the Dutch police were just in on top of you, through windows and everything.
They came in basically like an SAS squad, and the next thing I know, this guy had a machine pistol in my mouth. And he was shouting at me, and what came through to my consciousness, because I thought it was gone. I actually thought it was a bomb, you see, it was the first thing, and then I realised it was okay, and then these guys were gone. And he was shouting in Dutch, and that's what came through to me. And it was actually, when I heard him shouting in Dutch, it was actually a relief.
It's a frightening experience, and the thing I'm thinking of is, you know, if that was the Peelers or the Brits or something coming on top of you, you'd be dead before you know it. The extradition process ran to the end of it, and I think it was the 4th or the 5th of December, 1986. They flew us back in, and then brought back up into the H blocks. And they brought me into H7, and they brought me onto the same wing that I had escaped from. And they actually had the SO of the block that we arrested on the day of the escape standing in the circle when I walked in. He was the guy who was in charge of the block that day we escaped, to welcome me back in and assign me down to the wing that I was getting into.
They thought that the thing to do, it was like something out of one of these detective shows, you know, bring them back to where it started so that they'll never do it again.
The plan was that if he did not return within 10 minutes to tell us that there was a problem, then we knew the escape was on. At the same time as Spick went into the circle, Republican prisoners in each of the 4 wings began preparing to arrest the screws who were in their particular wing. The next part of the operation then was that Vic McFarlane would go into the circle area, walk over to a grill here, and actually shout down to these wings, has anybody got the bumper? The bumper was inflated.
And I called the junior minister, Mr. Jerry Kelly.
I beg to move that the second stage of the Public Authorities Reform Bill be agreed. Concordia, the bill contains provisions relating to certain public bodies which are the responsibility of a number of departments.